Yep, there we go.
You guys plugged it into number 2. Alright, hold on. Now you're good. Yeah, you guys plugged it into mic 2 chat. Okay, you're on.
So we'll do that again. Folks, thank you so much for joining us today from Lemoyne Field, the Eagles' Nest, home of your post-university Eagles, and we are ready for some non-conference lacrosse today. Your 3-3 post-university Eagles versus the 2-1 University of Hartford Hawks. Good afternoon. My name is Chris Del Sordo. Pleased to be joining you on the Nest Network, post-university sports on the CACC network. Today, a Division II versus Division III matchup, but University of Hartford, not your standard Division III team. They transferred out of Division I starting 3 years ago, and this is their final transition year before becoming a full-time member of the Commonwealth Coast Conference. Starting lineups about to be introduced here at Lemoyne Field, and so we'll do a quick run-through as well, starting off with the Hawks from the University of Hartford. Starting at defense, a sophomore from East Greenwich, Rhode Island, number 2, Tim Vada. John Fiorino, a big goal scorer and a good-looking youngster, sophomore season, wearing number 4. Andrew Liebold, the team's goalie out of Chula Vista, California. He's played all but 4 minutes in net for the Hawks this season. Cameron James, a face-off man out of Saratoga Springs, New York. Nicholas Forgione, a true freshman goal-scoring threat with 9 already on the season. Jake Odred, a talented grad transfer from Ursinus College, third on the team with 7 goals. Jack Hart on the long stick midi. Andrew Amigo in defense out of Essex, Mass. And we'll go through the rest of the starting lineups right after this. And we'll round out the rest of the Hawks starting lineup. Ethan Hunt, a freshman on the attack, and Nicholas DiDomizio, a junior defender out of Cheshire, Connecticut, rounding out their starting 10.
We go through the starting lineups first for the visiting Hawks. Sophomore defender number 2, Tim Vada. Sophomore attacker number 4, John Farino. Sophomore goalie number 5, Andrew Liebold. Sophomore faceoff man number 8, Cameron James. A freshman midfielder number 9, Nicholas Forgione. A graduate midfielder number 14, Jake Odred. A freshman long stick midfielder number 15, Jack Hart. A sophomore defender number 16, Andrew Amigo. A freshman attacker number 32, Ethan Hunt. And a junior defender number 40, Nicholas DiDomizio. The Hawks are led by head coach Ryan Martin and his 8th year assistant coach Kevin Sana. Now the starting lineup for your post-university Eagles. A sophomore defender number 4, Anthony Esposito. A senior attacker number 5, Dylan Heald. A sophomore attacker number 6, Ryan Dennegy. A sophomore face-off specialist number 8, Jackson Holden. A senior midfielder number 19, Jack Longmore. A junior attacker number 21, Robbie McGrain. A junior long stick midfielder number 22, James Sproul. A senior defender number 23, Nolan Carfagna. A senior defender number 35, Nate Dowd. And in goal, a senior number 41, Cole George. The Eagles are led by head coach Pat Iannarelli. In his first season, assistant coaches David Robinson, John Murray, and Prescott Perry.
So let's do it. Time for some non-conference lacrosse. Remember, this is an interdivisional matchup. D2 post-university, D3 U Hartford, but it's going to be one of the tougher D3 opponents the Eagles could potentially face, and it's a quick little trip too, so an easy travel 20 minutes down the road to bring Hartford here. Some players with superlatives to cover before we get into the action today. Ryan Deneke, the sophomore attackman from Putnam Valley, New York, the CACC Rookie of the Week. Going along with Nolan Carfagna, a senior defender out of Raynham, Massachusetts, the reigning defensive player of the week, and Robbie McGrain, second on the team with 26 points, first on the team with 22 goals. Got the nod in the CACC weekly honor roll, and you can't fault that. A player who has potted 22 goals in 6 games already this season. A couple of milestones to cover right before we get into the action today. Dylan Heald, the most recent game, becoming Post's first ever 100-point in career program scorer. And even bigger superlative news for the face-off man, Jackson Holden. Already 30 face-offs won this season, bringing him up to 201 in his Post career. Folks, that is the most face-off wins all time for any post-University Eagle. He surpassed Chris Cruz's 199, and he heads to the center circle with 201 today. Cameron James lined up along from Jackson Holden in the middle here at Lemoy Field, and we are ready. This is a huge contest for both teams. Remember, this is more or less the last game for both teams until they enter that full conference play. Hartford in the Division III CCC, and the post-University Eagles in the CACC in Division II. It's controlled by Hartford University, and Jake Ogert, the team's second leading goal scorer, a grad transfer from Ursinus College, quickly tosses it over to Ethan Hunt, and it will be the Hawks on offense first. A bit of a style clash, admittedly, between these two teams. Hartford 2-1 in 3 games. They're averaging 17 goals per contest. They only allow, my math is right, around 8 goals per game. They love to slow you down. Even in that one loss that they took to UMass Boston, which is one of Division III's highest powered offenses, they held the Beacons to 13 goals, scored 11 of their own. So if they can slow you down, take long possessions on the offensive end, they're doing what they want to do. And still in control here with Jake Ogert dodging in from the right horn. Comes into the slot, looks down low, and quickly wrapping it behind the X are the Hawks. Going to be a long shot and a big save stared in by Cole George. That one was sent in from Justin Pizzalezzi. And he put it in low trying to beat George. That was an easy read for a goalie who has shown the capability to stop the ball this season. 59.1% save percentage. Anytime you're flirting with 60, you're doing something well. And he's under 10 goals a game, Cole George currently, with a 9.69 goals allow average. So one trip into the offensive end, one legitimate scoring threat for the Hawks, but a big stop for George, a clear for the Eagles. And with the ball, Tim Keefe, one of really the 3 musketeers shoehorning this offensive attack for the Eagles. Keefe leading the team with 31 points on the season. And now Noah Piette joining the fun. Ryan Deneke mentioned in the weekly honor roll this week. And here we go around the perimeter for the Eagles. Keefe, far from the net, gets a screen, uses it, keeps that left-handed dodge alive. Quick little flick pass over, and behind the net go the Eagles. Robbie McGrain, all 22 goals on the season with it. We're back up to the top of the right horn as Post just trying to stretch out this Hartford University defense. Remember, they play tough, and they're keeping the Eagles very far away from the net. It's going to take a long dodge and a long shot. It's deflected loose in front. Closest to it is a Hawk, and then their goaltender coming in and scooping that all the way out of trouble on the play. Andrew Leibold. He didn't see it after he made the first save. Got some help from the pole, Andrew Amigo, and then was able to pick it up. So both teams generating really a controlled possession on both looks. They get deep into the shot clock to not incredibly difficult saves for either goalie, and so we're on fairly even footing here 2.5 minutes into this contest. No troubles on the clear for Hartford, and they shuffle in their midfield personnel. Looks like Aiden Kemp, a sophomore out of South Orange, New Jersey, and joining him, Aiden Ezra. The two Aidens combined right now for 13 goals, and that's a freshman and a sophomore respectively. Hartford changing their recruiting approach after they decided to join Division III. And with a lot of the newcomers this season, they've cornered the market appropriately. They have some very talented young players that are really leading the offensive attack. And then that huge get in Jake Ogert out of the transfer window. That was a long shot sent in from Maxton McPhee. The save was made by George going low. Race to the loose ball is going to be won by Hartford, and they do keep it in on the end line. And that's Maxton McPhee again, and he'll put it right back up to the top. Here's our second look at Aiden Kemp. Quick little chop step, wants to keep the left-handed shot alive, but he spins off to his right. Good on-ball defense there, and it's just plucked out of the air by James Sproul. These numbers are incredible for number 22. He has already caused now 14 turnovers with that one, and he scooped up 38 ground balls. So Sproul with a big play, and this could lead to a bit of an opportunity here. Instead, the Eagles opt to spin it out and reset their full offense. Looks like Hayden Hindman, that's sixth attacker, joining in from the midfield. Hindman, fourth on the team with 16 points and fourth on the team with 10 goals. Impressive scoring numbers for Post, especially across their last 3 games. Still scoreless. 3.5 minutes in here at Lemoy Field. Dodging in from behind the X, spinning. Leighton Cook. Cook, a little left-handed cradle. He's going to get the inside step here. Tries to shovel it in at the crease. It's loose. Trying to go for an over-the-shoulder shot here. Turnover force as that one is out. I believe, was that Cook again? No, it was Hinman. He had a chance to get that one off on the over-the-shoulder look. But another defensive stop, and both teams 2 for 2. Bending, but not breaking. We've had 2 big saves made from Cole George already for the Eagles, and that's our first failed clear, I believe, as Dylan Heald, the senior out of Colchester, normally contributing on the offensive end. He can get it done defensively, too. That's his 4th caused turnover on the season. And here comes Post, very deliberately setting up this attack. Nick Steele. Over to Noah Piette. And here comes Ryan Deneke behind the net. Quick dangle step in. Back out to Nick Steele. And now a right side attack here as Deneke gets some ISO space cleared out for him. Long shot, and that one's lifted well high over the net. It's going to be a race to the ball. Closest to it, Nick Steele. And so Post keeps. Little over 5 minutes into this contest so far, still scoreless. Shot from the rip side. That save is made as Liebold reads it low. That's the second time he's made it difficult off the rebound, but he's had a fellow Hawk bail him out. This time it looks like all the way on the long side of the field, Nicholas D. Domizio. They get it back to Liebold, and now he sends it right into the middle of a couple of swarming Eagles. Luckily for him, Eddie Sadowski had his wits about him, gets it across the midfield line, and it will be a successful clear for the Hartford Hawks. We expected this. Hartford, they play it slow, play it deliberate, don't rush anything. They don't run for the sake of running and trying to score in transition. They'd much rather set up their attack and beat you from it. And they've had the ball, feels like 60% of this contest, even though we had that turnover about a minute ago on the failed clear. Diving all the way in and getting all the way into the net was Ojert before, I believe that was number 4, Anthony Esposito, took a nice stick check to it and just knocked him off his block right before he was able to run into a shot. Ojert had all conference honors last year in his senior season at Ursinus College in Collegeville, Pennsylvania. He's a southeastern Pennsylvania resident. In his 1 year here at the University of Hartford. Has had 2 hat tricks already in 3 games. That 3rd game he also scored a goal, so he's yet to hit the field and not find twine as a member of the Hawks. That ball passed behind Dylan Heald on the play. Jab step. Look, long shot, rip, and it goes well. It would have gone wide. Liebold got to stick to it. It deflects, and it will stay with the Eagles. Shot clock will reset to 60 as that one did touch the stick of Liebold. Both of these goalies have had to face a decent amount of shots up to this point. You've seen Liebold make a couple of plays harder on himself than need be with the difficult deflections. Cole George has looked locked in, going 3 for 3. Here's a jab step right in front of the net, and it's high over the net. Another loose ball picked up, and that one set in the middle from Keefe. He rips it wide, but closest to it is Robbie McGrain. The Eagles threatening here. 60 fresh on the shot clock again. Hey, my mic's off. I don't have a 50 on the roster. And the aforementioned Brendan Keller with the ball right now. Thanks to everybody helping me out here on the call. He's on. And the Eagles Still setting up this attack, still 40 to shoot, and they've created a couple of good chances right in the middle of the slot here. Andrew Liebold looks up to the task today, but here's a wide dodge from Tim Keefe. He gets walled off here, and the Eagles will reset the look towards the middle of the field. Spinning. No, I don't know if that ball was properly in the pocket or not for the Brown spin and shoot. There's still 16 to shoot for the Eagles here, as this is picked up behind the net by Deneke. Keller gets a pick, but no room around. There's only 5 seconds to shoot. The Eagles are going to have to force something here, but Keefe got in between two defenders. That one rolls all the way into Liebold, and it's a big play by Hartford. Once again, bending but not breaking. That time, Jack Hart, the true freshman, he let Keefe get around him, but then ultimately forced him down to the ground. Lost his footing, lost the ball in the process, and we are still scoreless here. This is as locked in as you were going to see two teams defensively. Wholesale changes, personnel-wise for both teams, as it's a slow setup. As per usual, Justin Petzalese on the ball here for the Hartford Hawks. Justin, a senior out of Waterford, Connecticut, directing traffic here. Hits the field today with 3 points, 2 goals, and an assist. Remember, Hartford, they've only played 3 games. They have more of an abbreviated schedule than the Eagles. Bounce shot in from Petzalese, and it actually takes a funny hop. Goes well over the crossbar. George not tested. It just seems like Hartford seems committed to keep the attack oriented up at the horns, and there was a look underneath. Loose ball onto the doorstep. Not ready for it in the centering pass was Petzalese, and in through the middle is Jack Longmore taking it out of trouble. And look at that, an easy cruise right across the midfield line. No one's going to pick up the defensive midi, and so he'll send it behind the net and stay on the field for the offensive attack. Deneke, as the rest of the Eagles make their way on. Now finally Longmore does come off. Always like to see the defensive middies stay on the attack and vie for a chance at a goal. But both of these defenses look locked in up to this point. It's Leighton Cook, Keller, Noah Piette, and all the way around the perimeter. It does seem like Hartford, a lot of times you'll see teams constrict their defense. Hartford just keeps stretching post out further and further and further. Now, the risk they're playing is allowing maybe a cutter open into the middle of the field like that look right there, potentially for Leighton Cook. But these Eagles are so far away from the net, it's going to take a great pass just to set up a potential for a shot and score. 23 seconds on the shot clock. Chipping in is Deneke on the dodge. Keeps that right-handed cradle alive, hands free, but no shot from it. Robbie McGrain has a look here against the short stick, slips it over, and Liebold never saw it. It's in his pocket. How about that? Never saw the ball, touched his stick. The referee is going to send us back into play. He's made 5 big saves, and a couple of them, don't know if he ever got a good read on that one. Saw that one. It kind of touched his elbow and then went up underneath his shirt and in those sweatpants pockets. Better to be lucky than good, and he's played good also. 6 saves now for Andrew Liebold. As we are 11 minutes into this quarter already, and really probably one scoring chance each way. Cole George only has had to make 3 saves. He's looked very confident in net. 6 already for Andrew Liebold, so safe to say the Eagles creating some more chances. But here's the dodge in for the Hawks. Quickly going behind the net is McPhee. And I think that was a centering pass from McPhee intended towards Forgione, but it was just plucked out of the sky by Cole George. And so the Eagles back the other way. It's really been about 4 minutes, and Hartford's had the ball for 2 possessions. They haven't really created anything out of those 2 possessions here. Post got to be happy with their defense. That one's taken over the end line, or the sideline though, pardon me, by Nate Dowd. He turns it over back to the Hawks. And so right when I was harping on how solid Post has looked in their defensive end, they blow an opportunity to hop back on offense. And it's Kemp again. Aiden Kemp, just a slow roll to his left before reversing field and looking for Maxton McPhee. He's a true freshman, McPhee, out of Dudley, Mass. Just so many youngsters across this Hartford roster. Kemp keeps his dodge in before looking behind the net. Spinning left-handed shot low, and it misses wide. That was a good opportunity there for Ethan Hunt. He got around his defender and would really have had to pull that one tight to his body to get it into the right post. Missed it wide, but he had a Hawk closest to it. And so Hartford still with 49 to shoot. Up top. Over to Aiden Ezra. Right-handed dodge. He gets a pick. Little jab step trying to free up to the X. And it's Ethan Hunt. Hunt back to... That's McPhee. McPhee had a look there, diving in, misses high into the right, but a Hawk quickly back out. They reset. Kemp. He's picked up great defense on the ball. That shot sent in by Kemp. George with a huge save, and he can thank Jalen Brown's defense. Getting right up in the shirt of Aiden Kemp. Doesn't give him an angle. Kemp 6 goals already in this his sophomore season. And at this point with Hartford, they haven't gotten in towards Cole George that much. That's only the 4th shot that's gotten into him. And so you could see Kemp speeding up the tempo a little bit to try and get himself an opportunity. This one right into the middle. Not the best pass sent in by the Eagles trying to gain offensive zone entry, but look at the hustle there by James Sprout. Had it for a second. Long pole, though, takes a whack at it. It scurries all the way over to the goalie, Liebold, and Liebold helps the Hawks with the clear. And it's Aiden Ezra. Now behind the net is Ethan Hunt. Jake Ogert onto the field, fakes that heavy left-handed shot, goes low, it's touched by George, and he keeps it out of the net. Wow, that one touched the frame, not the pocket, popped straight up, and he's able to grab it back with the stick before going across the end line. These last 2 minutes have belonged to you, Hartford, thanks to 2 failed clears by the Eagles. Now they're finally back into their zone. Somehow we're still scoreless in this contest with 75 seconds left in the first quarter. And now Tim Keefe waiting for some instructions from his head coach, Pat Iannarelli. Coach Y in his first season out of Lourdes College, that's in Toledo, Ohio, had a 80-win, 50-loss record in 130 games coached at Lourdes. That'll get you a good job anywhere. And he's done a great job here taking in this new roster that had plenty of departures after the previous coach's exit. And all Coach Iannarelli has done is instilled a bunch of confidence in this team. They just won their most recent game 21-0. So he's doing something right in his first year here in Waterbury, and there's a goal right in front for Noah Piette. Leighton Cook set it up. Piette takes it inside, and he had all of the top left corner to pick. He picks the upper 90, and Piette scoring his 8th goal of the season with just 40 seconds left in the quarter. It took us a while to get there, but the game's first goal scored by Post University and Noah Piette. Always love it when a long pole gets involved in the stat action. And so for the second time this season, it's a James Sproul assist. He's already filling up the stat sheet with caused turnovers and ground balls. And Piette from Sproul, your first goal at the 40-second mark. Hartford, knowing that you only have 24 seconds now with this ball on your side of the field before another faceoff, so they're going to call a timeout and try and draw up something. We'll use this as an opportunity to take a quick break. 23.9 seconds remaining in the first quarter. You are watching Post University Sports on the CACC Network, powered by us here on the Nest Network, and you can watch everything live on YouTube at Go Post Eagles. So Post with it. Oh, a little slip pass here for a long shot, and that misses just wide as Noah Piette trying to score his second goal, but right behind the net, ready for it is Heald. Heald takes the body, shoots it low, and pulls it just wide. Liebold looked like he might have won that race to the ball. Instead, the referee gives it to the Eagles. They'll take it. Post University with 7 minutes remaining in the quarter. That's a quick shot and off the angle dodge. Nobody sees it. Liebold, it was in front of him for a couple of seconds. He finally is able to look down and pick up the ball. And now Jake Ogert helping out for the clear. You have to worry about him all the way into the offensive zone. He slings it over to John Fiorino. Personnel changes here for both sides, and it's the true freshman, Aiden Ezra, out there with Aiden Kemp. Now Kemp has it at about the 40-yard line of the gridiron here, dancing against Nick Gallery, a freshman from Ossining, New York. Fiorino. Now it's Verano dodging in. Verano behind the net was looking in the direction of Forgione over his head. Forgione, not the quickest hands this afternoon. He's a great goal-scoring threat for these Hartford Hawks. Hasn't been ready a couple of times near the net. That's a long shot sent in from John Fiorino. Looked like a little bit of a forced attempt. No worries for the Hawks, though. Forgione closest to it. Forgione takes the body and a great late cover defensively from Nolan Carfagna. He comes over. Forgione had the hands ready to get the shot off. He was trying to shoot it, but Carfagna touches it at the last second, forces that shot to miss well high and wide. No reset, and just 9 seconds on the shot clock here for Hartford. Diving in. A long shot from Verano, misses high, and it's going to be a very tough task here for the Hawks. Forgione on it with 5 seconds on the shot clock. He'll head to the deep corner where the referee wants him, so this is going to be a very tough task to even beat the shot clock here. Forgione, a wide angle, looks towards it, and he'll just loft it over the net. Smart decision right there for the University of Hartford. Your defense, even in spite of those last 2 Tim Keefe goals, your defense has looked very solid, and at this point, you don't want to risk that turnover trying to force a shot and then lead to a transition look the other way, so you can get all of your defensive personnel onto the field. Only 4 goals so far, and we've played 25 minutes of lacrosse here at Lemoy Field. Post University looking locked in, 6 saves from Cole George. Andrew Liebold, he's had to make plenty, 9 already, but he has gotten beaten 3 times by the Eagles. Twice by Tim Keefe, once by Noah Piette. For Piette, his 8th. Keefe, his 15th was assisted from Hindman, and then his 16th was a goal scored unassisted. The 1 goal scored by the University of Hartford, Jake Ogert, with about 10 seconds left in the first quarter. Brendan Keller, remember, he's playing his first career game for the Post University Eagles, coming right on in off the dodge and trying to rip in a left-handed shot, misses wide. Now you can see Post, even if it's ever so slightly, they're slowing down their looks offensively here, just trying to play that clock game and get to halftime with as big of a lead as possible. Keller takes a shove from the backside. It reorients the offensive attack. That one's passed into the middle. The cutter on the play, not ready for it, was Keefe, but bailing out the play on the backside, Deneke. Oh, look at that pass threaded, though. Heald would have gotten the assist, but instead it just bounces out of the stick of Hayden Hindman. But a turnover forced. Now Heald trying to do it again. One-on-one with the goalie. Fakes high, goes low, and scores! Dylan Heald, that is a true unassisted goal. He almost had it the first time, and he gets it 10 seconds later. Defense to offense with some nifty hands to boot. An unassisted goal for Heald, his 17th of the season. And the Eagles, 3 in a row to go up 4-1. It's Heald scooping up the ground ball, just attacking the goaltender for the Hawks, Liebold, and beating him after showing off a couple of moves. Finally takes the hands high, dances around the crease, and just shoots it low into the bottom corner. 2 goals for Keefe, his 15th and 16th. Heald with his 17th. And it's the post-University Eagles leading from the front. You look at their box score on the season, it's kind of a big 6, starting at Tim Keefe, working your way through Robbie McGrain, Dylan Heald, Hayden Hindman, Noah Piet, and Ryan Denicky. And once again, it's the usual suspects creating all of the offense here. Heald this time did it from a bit of a ride after the ball was leaving the offensive zone. It was McGrain that also helped force the turnover, and then Heald picks it up and pockets it. There's a look for the Hawks right in front, but a big save made. And Cole George, 8 saves already now. That shot sent in by Justin Petzolese. And a lot of these shots for the Hawks have been coming in from distance, but even in spite of that, Cole George, a confident-looking goalie, he's seeing the ball very well right now. Didn't allow any rebound, and it was an easy clear for Post as they're right back behind the X now with 55 more to shoot. Heald to Keefe. Keefe could get a hat trick here in the first half. Moving quickly, Leighton Cook. Cook spinning. Tried to keep that righty shot alive. Puts it in the left hand, locks and loads, and misses high. But the Eagles still there. Tale of 2 quarters here. Remember, we were tied at 1-1 after 1, but that was because both teams scoring a goal in the final 40 seconds. Heald makes his man miss, stops on a dime, but he's robbed by Liebold. Wow, that would have been a beautiful goal for 2 in a row for Dylan Heald. Instead, Liebold sticks with him, and with minimal time to react, finds that ball and makes the save. So we're still 4-1 Eagles, Hartford behind the net. With the ball for the Hawks, Griffin Weller. Weller back out to Forgione. Some new players in the attack here for the University of Hartford. Just 1 goal in the first 28 minutes of lacrosse. The Eagles can thank Cole George for that, looking solid, stopping 8 of 9 shots that have gotten into him on frame. Left-handed dodge from Petzolese. Behind the net to Ethan Hunt. Hunt knocked off the ball. Look at that pressuring defense from Nate Dowd. I think Hunt wanted to try and spin in for a pass inside. Dowd makes him go all the way back out to Ezra up top. Long shot in and a kick save, kind of a knee save made by Cole George as Petzolese has to feel pretty victimized right now. He's gotten a couple of good looks here, and Cole George looking not bothered at all. There is a 15-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, so Post will have to initiate offense in this possession, but they don't run that big of a risk of anything happening the other way. But they're going to work quickly here. Heald, right on the doorstep, tried for the crossfield pass. It gets deflected. They'll keep it with the Eagles. And Post, seeing that opportunity, noting that there's still that 15-second differential, this is probably going to be their final offensive possession of the first half, and so with that, they will take their final first half timeout. 1:11 left to go in the second quarter. Eagles 4, Hawks 1. We'll be right back with more lacrosse after this on the Nest Network. You are watching Post University Sports on the CACC Network, and you can stream all of our action live on YouTube at Go Post Eagles. $1:11 left to go here in the first half and in the second quarter. In the second quarter, dominated by Post University. They have all 3 goals scored in the quarter, leading the University of Hartford Hawks in this intra-divisional This is D2 versus D3 NCAA non-conference matchup. But it's been a good game. These are two closely matched teams. Remember, University of Hartford, a former D1 program in their final year of transitioning into D3. And so they make this stop here in D2 to play a non-conference still. They're hanging in there. Their goalie, Andrew Liebold, double-digit saves already, trying to keep them in. But the Eagles, they have found something now, scoring 3 times on him here in quarter number 2 with one more chance to try and fill up that handful of goals. Hindman looks in the direction of Deneke. Deneke shovels it off to Hindman. Hindman with the size advantage uses it to get that shot in point blank. The save is made by Liebold, but closely to it, Ryan Deneke. And so that shot clock resets. There's 20 seconds left in the quarter. Hindman a long one, and he pulls it wide into the left. Nice play there. Nice hustle by Andrew Liebold for the Hawks, winning the race to it and earning, albeit a small possession, one final possession offensively for the University of Hartford. They're reading the tea leaves of this game, seeing how hard it's been for them to generate an attack. They'll keep it in the hands of Jake Oger. 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Can he rip the shot off? Yes, he can in time! And he misses it wide. It tests Cole George, pulls the shot wide, and that will bring us to halftime. Well, for a game with only 5 goals scored, it has been a very exciting, closely contested contest. At halftime, it's the Post-University Eagles 4 and the University of Hartford Hawks 1. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, have some halftime stats here. Don't go far. Remember, you can leave for halftime. I'll have those stats for you when you come back. You can stay with us. But we'll be back with more lacrosse right after this on the Nest Network. We are back here at Lemoy Field. Time for quarter 3. Post University, a slow start, but they picked it up come quarter 2. They have a 4-1 lead, and it has been a suffocating defensive performance for the Eagles up to this point today. They've gotten 19 of this contest's ground balls, caused 3 turnovers, and they are 11 of 13 on the clear. For the University of Hartford, also 2 failed clears. They are 10 of 12. Just 13 ground balls. So losing that battle by 6 to Post University, this game hasn't had too many swings in terms of possessions kept alive by turnovers. The one noteworthy example, the goal scored by Dylan Heald, thanks to the turnover forced by Robbie McGrain. Heald picked up the loose ball and then danced right on in on the goalie Andrew Liebold before finishing bottom right. And that was it. That was really the one play that was created off of a turnover and a transition look. Everything else has been set up off of a set play. In fact, University of Hartford's lone goal scored by Jake Oger came in from a timeout taken right before the end of the first quarter. He took the pass in and then just danced through the entire Post University defense. Are you kidding me? Look at that shot and score back to the net. It's a no-look finish for Tim Keefe, and that is a beautiful way to record a hat trick. Not even looking at the net, ripping it with the right hand, and for the 3rd time today and the 17th time this season, Keefe finds Twine, and he is now tied for the 2nd most goals for the Eagles with 17. It has been an offensive explosion for the Post University Eagles here. Remember, they did score the game's first goal, but they let the game get tied up 20 seconds after that. Ever since, it's been 16 minutes of lacrosse, 4 Post University goals, 0 for the University of Hartford. And in that second quarter for the Hawks, just 5 shots taken on net. And so it's been an easy afternoon so far for Cole George. And with that turnover forced and scooped up by Jack Longmore, the Eagles looking to try and continue. The defense has been phenomenal all day, but now really starting to up the caused turnover numbers. That's the 21st forced by the Eagles this afternoon, and it gives Tim Keefe all the room in the world to dance along the top of the midfield zone. Longmore comes off. Nick Steele fills in the spot for him, and now here's Nick Steele at about the 40-yard line on the football gridiron. Leighton Cook playing a 2-man game with Nick Steele. And they'll look over to the left side, go all the way back to Heald from the X. Crossfield pass to Tim Keefe. And here's a look at Leighton Cook. Cook fakes jab step, has that left-handed cradle alive, tries to swim over to the right hand. Leighton Cook out top. Thinking about the long shot there is Ryan DeNike. Couldn't make anyone miss. And so they'll slide it over towards the right sideline. Dodging in a low shot, and the save is made by Liebold as Leighton Cook testing the waters there, right as we've probably got the biggest wind gust we've had all afternoon. Make sure the umbrella doesn't fly off the broadcast perch here at Lemoy Field. I don't think that altered the shot at all, but a good dodge in there from Leighton Cook, trying to stretch it to a 5-goal lead. Hartford with a timely spot. Remember, their goalie, Andrew Liebold, in spite of allowing these 5 goals, he has played well in net, has seen plenty of shots so far this afternoon. He's made 10 saves, but on the other side of the field, Cole George has made 10 saves and has only allowed 1 goal, and up to this point, that's the story. Dodging in. Here's Oger. Hard to keep him down. Big-bodied attackman that can go back to the midfield and play both sides of the midfield as well. He's quite a luxury for the University of Hartford. Oh, man in the middle, beautiful pass and an easy finish, and that's Griffin Weller on the field finding Twine. A nice assist there from Ethan Hunt, and that will wake up the Hawks offense again. Weller, for just the 2nd time this season, gets the goal, and that is Griffin Weller's 4th point. So he has 2 goals to go along with 2 assists now, and the junior from Canton, Connecticut, a clutch goal for the Hawks, bringing them back to within 3. It's 5-2. Beautiful dime there for Ethan Hunt as he was very far away from the play. But in wrapping around the net, drew that second defender and was able to slip the pass into Weller, who finds Twine. And so it's 5-2. Just the second goal allowed for Post University, the first goal allowed in, let's do some mental math, 19 minutes of lacrosse. So hands off to them. They played 14 minutes of scoreless ball, 19 more. Cole George seeing the ball well. They can put that right behind them with a short memory here if they take advantage of this opportunity. And Ryan DeNike looking very confident with the ball in his cradle. Draws that defender far away from the play. It's Tim Vada. He has 2 poles against him here, so somebody's not going to be marked by a standard stick. Wow, look at that pickup by McGrain, and he tried to go over the shoulder with it. Misses high, and that hustle from Liebold, I promise, not going unnoticed by the broadcast crew. That's the 4th time now that the goalie has been the first to read the ball and win the race to the end line to get it back for Hartford. Credit to the Hawks. They know their style. They like to slow you down, and in playing this deliberate pace, they've kept themselves in this contest. It's been a lot of offense without any scoring threats, so for them to convert there from not a seldom used player, but a bit of a B unit player, Griffin Weller, to get onto the field, get open in front of the net, and pot it past George. That's got to feel big for these Hawks, and math is math. Listen, this is not a high-scoring game, but lacrosse goals can be scored quickly, and when you're only down 3, that makes the possibility of a comeback very feasible. Dodging in and going behind the net here is Maxton McPhee. Over to Hunt. Hunt to Aiden Kemp. Kemp, left-handed shot, it's long. Good play defensively by the Eagles. I believe that was number 20, Rob Torelli, the true freshman. He read Hunt's intentions, got the stick check, and forced Hunt to pull that shot high. Jab step here from Weller. Goes back up top. Spinning away, Petzolese. And Aiden Kemp. Hartford, they really like to keep the ball up at the horns as long as possible. They have outlets behind the net, but as you can see here, well, there's only 6 to shoot, so it's going to stay back behind the net here. Weller, 2 to shoot. Weller spins. He doesn't get the shot off in time. A stellar defensive performance continuing here on Lemoy Field as Post University, they do not blink. They allow the goal. They commit a turnover, but then subsequent defensive possession locked down. They hold the fort down for all 90 seconds and force the 3rd shot clock violation against the Hawks this afternoon. It's hard to get one of those in college lacrosse. 3 with 24 minutes remaining. That's impressive. And the Eagles, rightfully so, showing some pep in their step as Brendan Keller back on the field. Jab step. Left-handed dodges the line, puts it in the right hand, passes it in the middle, and a huge save from Liebold. Wow, I thought that was as good of a goal as could be possible for Ryan DeNike, and he shoots it right into the goalie stick of Andrew Liebold. And with the help of Aiden Kemp, a big clear for Hartford. Kemp fakes the shot, goes for the pass inside, and a little too delicate of a touch right there in the middle. I believe that was a long pole, Caleb Lavasseur. So personnel-wise, not the person who expected to see the ball right in front of the net. He had an opportunity on the pass in from Kemp, and he tried to bounce it, and he bounces it too close to himself. It goes high over the crossbar. Ogert gives way to Petzolese. Justin Petzolese, right-handed shot. Oh, what a goal! Unreal rip from Petzolese. Quick hands there, and he didn't get that far past his dodge before letting it rip from long distance. Bounces it in, but keeps it low and inside the left post. And for the 3rd time this season, it's Justin Petzolese finding twine. 2 consecutive goals for the University of Hartford. Don't go anywhere, folks. We've got a good one here at Lemoy Field. It's Post 5, Hartford 3. Cole George had been unbeatable through the first 30 minutes of this contest. He made 10 saves on 11 shots in the first half. So far here in quarter number 3, yet to record a save on the 2 shots that have gotten to him. That's good defense there by the Eagles. They forced a turnover as that one was just thrown away after it looked like Jack Hart got sped up after that faceoff win for Hartford. Throws it away, another caused turnover by the Eagles defense. And so Post University looking for an answer. They opted to take it the hard route. Nate Dowd finally, after drawing 2 Hawks defenders, gets the clear. Over to Leighton Cook. Cook hands it off to Keefe. And here come the Eagles. 26 shots taken by Post, 23 by the University of Hartford. This game is really even across so many statistical measures. We're even in the center circle. Both teams 6 face-off wins. Both teams 14 of 16 on potential clears. So right now, Cole George, really he's been the difference, seeing the ball slightly better. But remember, the Hawks have beaten him on their last 2 shots taken. Slow build-up offensively here for Post, as it's Keefe. I mean, his heels are back near the 40-yard line here as he's fronted by the long pole on the play, Jack Hart. Hart thought he took it out of the stick of Keefe. Keefe is able to use that upper body strength and get a shot off. He misses it along the near side post, but first there was Noah Piette. The Post University sideline barking the play call. That's Seattle. And what that means is Piette's going to spin and win. Top left corner snipe for Noah Piette. And credit to the Post University sideline there. They call the play. Piette executes the play. It looked like everybody just started to shade away from him, so he didn't think twice about it. For the second time today and the 9th time this season, Noah Piette finding twine. 3 different goal scorers, and the Eagles are back doubling up the Hawks. It's 6-3. So a quick reset here. The game was tied 1-1 at the end of the first quarter. Noah Piette, right there, he scored a goal with 40 seconds remaining. It made you think, good job. Post finally got one. They're going to go into the end of the quarter break up 1-0. But Jake Ojert, after a timeout, scored a goal with 10 seconds remaining to make it 1-1. 3 post goals, that's all we had in the second quarter. 2 for Tim Keefe, 1 for Dylan Hill that made it 4-1 at halftime. An early goal by Tim Keefe making it 5-1 to start the third quarter. We had 2 straight goals for University of Hartford, 1 from Griffin Weller, 1 from Justin Petzalese. That made it 5-3, and that most recent goal by Noah Piette has us at 6-3. So 3 different Eagles with 2 goals apiece. 3 different Eagles vying for a hat trick, and here's one of them. Keefe already with a hat trick, Heald with 1, Piette with 2, and a long shot here, and that's, Hayden Hindman joining the fun. He takes the shovel pass from Nick Steele, goes low, keeps it low, and rips it. And for the 11th time this season, it's Hayden Hindman finding twine. He has a goal and an assist today. Steele with an assist on that one. That's his second, and the Eagles up by 4, retaking their largest lead of the game. It's a touchdown to a field goal, 7-3. So 17 points now on the season for Hayden Hindman. One of 4 different Hawks over that mark. Once again, it's just the top players leading from the top. 5 different goal scorers now. No, 4 different goal scorers now. 2 for Piette, 3 for Keefe, 1 for Heald, and 1 for Hindman. And so you have to think, looking at the stat sheet here, Ryan DeNike, Robbie McGrain, potentially feeling a little left out of the offensive fun, but there still is 20.5 minutes left to go in this contest. Hartford, they need an answer. We're seeing the goals start to come at a quicker pace here. Ojert, he has one, looks down low, and a stonewall save by George. He kept it out of the net. He touched it, fell to his back. It was behind him, but not over the goal line, and he turns around, sees it. Nobody can come into that crease, so they weren't going to take it from him, and a huge save for Cole George, his 11th. Technically, that was his first save in the third quarter, so a welcomed one at that. Now he creeps up out of the crease, and momentarily the clear was made, and yes, it is. Nolan Carfagna lost it for a second, but he's into the offensive zone, and Post, just a giant opportunity to take a 5-goal lead. They've had 2 separate 4-goal leads in this game. Remember, just about 3.5 minutes ago, it was a 2-goal game, but 2 quick goals from Post University have it back up to 7-3. And a real chance to leave their mark for the Eagles. It was a great showing in that second quarter after only scoring 1 goal and allowing the late one. And this is a different type of answer back after allowing two tough goals and making it a 5-3 game. Really had me feeling like up here in the broadcast booth that this was going to be close all the way. Instead, turn this into a positive possession here. And Post could really be locking all windows and doors at this point. Instead, that pass sent to the back of the attack. Nifty play, though, by Leighton Cook to put it behind his back. And Cook, that pass is intercepted, plucked out of thin air by Cooper Young. And here comes the freshman Cooper Young. across the midfield line. That pass is deflected, touched away. Look at James Sproul. He has an assist today, countless caused turnovers. There's another one right there. And the Eagles, they just have an answer for everything U Hartford has thrown at them today, slowing down this clear. George in the direction of Carfagna, the Eagles across the timeline. That's going to be a slashing call against Hartford. And so now Post, this is the game's first flag. This is the first time we've had a flag on the field all game. Somehow we've played 42 minutes of lacrosse and haven't had a penalty. We have one incoming now, and so a delayed man-up look here for Post University. I believe that was Nicholas Forgione, the midfield attacker, that's going to be called for the slash. Keller shot that one. The save is made, kick save by Leibold, but Keller gets right back to it. Good hustle there for Brendan Keller. Gets himself a ground ball in the stat sheet in the process, too, after that shot gets deflected. Keller might try and call his own number again. Gets the screen from Keefe, spins into a left-handed shot. Nothing there. Almost lost it. Huge stick check on the play, knocking it free by Jack Hart, the freshman. Remember, there's still a flag down on the field for a delayed slash. We're still going to have to deal with that as this clock continues to run in the third quarter. Keefe. Down low, rip shot, and a goal, and it's Hayden Hindman, 2 in a row. This time, Keefe with the assist. He's got a hat trick and an assist today. Hindman, his second of the day, his 12th of the season. Keefe with the dime, and the first 5-goal lead today belonging to the Eagles. It will be a slashing penalty on the play against U Hartford, an unreleasable 1-minute slash. And so, what a great way to get a goal if you're Hayden Hindman. You get a chance for a hat trick right now. You're back on the field with a man up. Right when the University of Hartford made it look like they were going to be back in this game the entirety, the rest of the way, 3 straight goals for the Eagles. Noah Piette and 2 from Hayden Hindman. This is a huge face-off win for the University of Hartford because as numbers go, folks, you can see the scoreboard. They've only scored 3 goals so far, and we only have 2.5 minutes left in this third quarter. So you got to have to start putting them in the net soon if you want to make the reality of this comeback even a possibility. Ojert. He's so talented with the ball, but it just seems like no space being given by Post University, so he's had to do everything all on his own here, and even now on this dodge, there's a man down, so he's just trying to kill off as much time as possible, but nobody around here as an out route. It doesn't seem to bother Ojert too much. In fact, he's going to dodge in through 3 defenders, but a huge stick check, and it's Carfagna picking it up and out of trouble. Credit to Jake Ojert, but he danced with it a little too long, and so now 8 seconds left with a man up here. The Eagles hurrying to keep this advantage alive, and Hindman gets the hat trick from it. McGrain takes the pass underneath, gives it right back to Hayden Hindman. It's 3 in a row. His 11th, 12th, and 13th respectively, and they sneak in the man-up goal with 3 seconds left on the power play. They had the ball with a man-up for like 9 seconds, and they get the man-up goal. It's Hindman from McGrain, and the Eagles leading by 6. It's 9-3. What an explosion here from Post University. And all things considered, it's only 5 goals here in this third quarter, but it feels like 15 at the pace that we were playing at through the first half. And now Post University, all systems go with this 6-goal lead. You can hear it, the sideline right in front of me here at Lemoy Field, hooting, hollering, and pumping up the teammates as that was just brilliant play in transition. McGrain made himself open and available behind the X, so Hindman was able to go full steam ahead on the dodge, slip it to McGrain. Nobody picks up Hindman, so he gets it right back and rips it past Leibold. And to give Andrew Leibold his credit, he still has made more saves than he has allowed goals, but it has been a tough task today. And look at this ring around the Rosie, around the perimeter. Leighton Cook trying to let it rip, and that one is deflected on the way in. Post University leading 9-3, and all of a sudden they've outshot Hartford by 10 in the contest. They outshot them by 8 so far in quarter number 3. I believe this is Leighton Cook. Yes, it is. Just slowly working his way behind the net. Now he spins, loses the mark of the Hawks defender, trying to keep the left-handed shot alive, and Leibold reads it again. Good eyes here for Andrew Leibold, as that could have gone anywhere. It was Cook vying for the shot. Hartford gets the stop, and if they hurry, they have a chance at an offensive possession. Good timing there to join the attack by Justin Petzolese. 6 seconds, 5, around the defender, shot, misses wide, and there will be 2.5 seconds left in the quarter. But they're going to have to work very quickly. Ethan Hunt chucks it at the net. Oh, that one does get back to a Hawk in the middle. That was Caleb Lavasseur. He couldn't field it in the pocket, and that will bring us to the end of the third quarter. At one point, it looked like the University of Hartford could potentially make this a game. They scored the first 2 goals in quarter number 3, making it 5-3, but in onslaught, 4 straight, 1 from Noah Piette, and 3 in a row, a natural hat trick from Hayden Hindman, giving the Eagles their current 9-3 lead. We'll take a quarter break here. We'll be back in a minute and a half. Really, it's not quite all ceremonial at this point, but the Eagles probably playing for stats more than they are for a win now, as that giant explosion at the end of the third quarter has them up 9-3. Don't go far. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter after this on the Nest Network. You are watching Post-University Sports on the CACC Network. Welcome back to Lemoy Field. 15 minutes left at this contest, and the Eagles comfortably leading 9-3 after a 4-goal straight explosion. They let it get close. 2 goals by the University of Hartford's Griffin Weller and Justin Petzolese made this a 5-3 contest. But 4 in a row, 1 from Noah Piette, 3 in a row, a natural hat trick for Hayden Hindman, and it's 9-3 Eagles, and the Birds buzzing here at Lemoy Field right now. And look at Dylan Heel joining the backside of this play to help with the face-off win and ground ball pickup. 9 goals scored by Post, 5 of them assisted. 3 goals scored by the University of Hartford, just 1 assisted. At halftime, this game was even at 19 shots apiece, but Post outshooting Hartford in the third quarter 15-4 and pocketing 4 more goals. That's the story right now here at Lemoy Field. Hayden Hindman has been all over the field today. 3 goals and an assist, and he's back with it here. Right-handed dodge, back to the X. Chops his feet. He has the midfielder Ojert playing defense on him, and that pass goes wide. It was intended for Keith. Once again, Dylan Heel, he has covered so much ground just in the first minute of this quarter. And here comes Hindman diving in. No, pardon me, that's Keith. He tries to go low, bounces it on the turf, and misses wide. Andrew Leibold has been a busy man in this second half. Luckily there, wasn't required to make the save. Piette with 2 goals today. Behind the crease. Nifty play had McGrain. Quick rip from McGrain. He got whacked by the stick in a sensitive area after letting go of that shot, and still bent over at the waist right now is Robbie McGrain, one of the only players kept out of the score sheet so far for Post University. Piette's going to wind it back in. Just 6 to shoot here behind the net. Hindman to a cutting man. No, instead, Way up top, Denike gets rid of it in time and hits a body in front. You can count it for Dylan Heald. The shot gets off in time. It hits a body in front after being shot. The ground ball is loose. Heald scoops it up and pockets it into the back of the net. So Ryan Denike gets robbed, but Dylan Heald right there to clean it up, and it's a touchdown lead for the Eagles. They're up 10-3. All the names you know arriving today here at Lemoy Field. It's a hat trick for Tim Keefe, a hat trick for Hayden Hindman, 2 for Noah Piette, 2 for Dylan Heald. Happy times here in a 10-3 lead. And at this point, you can feel the energy on the sideline for the Eagles. They want to run it up at this point. There's still a discussion here. Remember, the shot clock situation, that's what was unfolding. Denike got rid of the shot with a second left. It never got to the frame, I don't think, and I don't know if that's the reason why we're having this discussion, if it was a shot clock violation or not. After it gets deflected, the shot clock got reset. It got scooped up by Dylan Heald. He puts it in the back of the net. Let's see. Okay, so there you go. No goal for Heald. The score 9-3, not 10-3. It is a shot clock violation against the Eagles, and so I'm sorry, folks. The way the play unfolded, it looked like it happened in real time, that they got the ball back. They wouldn't have gotten the shot off in time, and so that is the problem there. Heald doing everything he needed to do, but after Denike got rid of it, the clock went from 1-0. So that goal not counting for Dylan Heald. So he's stuck at 17, and the score's stuck at 9-3. Really probably the only gray mark on this contest so far for the Eagles. And they've looked phenomenal defensively. Remember, only 1 goal allowed in the first half, just 2 so far here in half number 2. So funny to think that this game was 5-3 only about 8 minutes ago. That's a long shot, and Cole George, one of the reasons why it's only 3 goals for the University of Hartford. That was a long shot coming in from Ojert. He read it all the way, got the stick down low. Nicholas Forgione lost it, got it back, and Cole George just denies it. The senior out of Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada, with a game to remember, stonewalling the University of Hartford again. 13 saves now to just 3 goals allowed. That puts a save percentage over 80 on the day. You love having games like this, especially on the heels of a 21-0 shutout. If you're Cole George, your stat line going to look phenomenal, as long as you can keep up this pace for the remaining 12 and a half minutes. Keller back in the offensive attack. Remember, it could have been 10-3. The official ruling on the play is shot clock violation, and that is what it was. Dylan Heald scooped up the loose ball, got it past the goalie. Didn't count. And so, Post University, another chance to get themselves a 10-3 lead. They were threatening there. Keller's pass goes out of the zone and out of bounds, and so it'll be an automatic clear for the University of Hartford. They get to take it across the center line and rewind their offense. Hard to see a scenario which Hartford can generate the offense that they need. Really, they've had 3 primary ball handlers. You've seen Petzelazy, Ojert, and Aiden Kemp be your main quote-unquote quarterbacks on the offense for the University of Hartford. Joining the attack, Aiden Ezra, so the Aiden duo up top. With Justin Petzelazy. They look behind the net. Forgione has it here on the right slot. Back up top to Aiden Ezra. Ezra, long left-handed shot. Great stick check. That's Jalen Brown on the backside of the play. That's the second time we've seen Brown, the grad student out of New York, get back to an attack man in time, get a perfectly placed stick check, and alter the shot. Another one missed high by Ezra. And it seems like the Hawks now just trying to throw everything at the wall, nothing really sticking, as they hand it off to Ethan Hunt to try and generate something in from the X. He winds off the left side post. Looks back in the direction of Petzelazy. Long shot. It's bounced by George, trying to whack it in from over top of the crease on the backside of the play was Ojert, and ultimately the ball skirts out to Aiden Ezra. Ezra spinning, loses his mark, left-handed shot. He had to do so much just to get that shot off. It was close, but he pulls it wide again. Cole George has made 14 saves now. Plenty more have missed wide from Hartford. And so this slow-paced, deliberate attack When the game's 5-3 in the third quarter, it looks like exactly what you want it to be. But after the 4 straight goals from Post and another huge save from Cole George, it just leaves you wondering, how can you find Twine with a defense working like this? Remember, a shutout their last contest. They've only allowed 3 here. That one, a attempt from a long pole rip on the clear in. James Sproul trying to call his own number. He misses wide. And now Dylan Heald, a slow wind back into the play. Remember, double hat trick day so far. Keefe with 3, he's up to 17. Hyndman with 3, he's up to 13. 2 for Piet, he has 9 now. And 1 for Dylan Heald, he has 17. The names you're used to hearing, well, you hear it again. Heald stops on a dime, cuts back around the crease, trying to keep the left-handed shot alive. Nothing there. He wisely winds it back in the direction of Leighton Cook. Cook has missed just wide on a couple of chances, showing off that long shot ability. Might be trying to do that again here. Instead, Piet drawing the defense of Cooper Young. Piet. Oh, stops. Little shoulder shimmy. Can't lose Young. Gets a screen. Doesn't use it. Still has that cradle alive in the right hand. Piet around the defender. Low shot. It hits off a hawk and doesn't get inside to Liebold. And now a clear coming for the University of Hartford. They get it rather easily. Hart across the timeline. And I believe a timeout coming here from the University of Hartford. And that it is. 9:34 left to go in this contest. It could have been 10-3, but as it is, Post University still buzzing right along. Post University 9, University of Hartford 3. More after this on the Nest Network. You were watching Post University Sports on the CACC Network. Welcome back to Lemoy Field. You are watching coverage of Post-University Sports on the CACC Network. And for everyone tuning in on our YouTube stream, thank you for joining us on the Nest Network. You can watch all of our games live on YouTube at Go Post Eagles. My name is Chris Del Sordo, and your Post-University Eagles enjoying a 9-3 lead here. We've played about 5.5 minutes of this fourth quarter. It looked like for a split second that the Eagles would have gone up 10-3, but a shot clock violation erased that goal. And so we've been held firm at 9-3 for about the last 7 minutes of lacrosse. This has been a game of runs. At one point, well, I'll hold that thought because it's a long shot and a rip scorer for Jake Ogert, and that is his second of the afternoon. He is now tied for the team lead with 9 goals, and number 14 has shown the ability to let it rip. I was going to say, it was a timeout taken by Hartford back in the first quarter that let Ogert score a goal with 10 seconds left. Similar play here. They take the timeout, give it to 14 right off the rip. He gets inside and scores his second time today. So Ogert, 2 on the game, 9 on the season. And an answer for the University of Hartford. So what I was getting at in this being a game of runs is this is an extended battle in the face-off circle here, taking a spill on the play, Cameron James, and it will be a push called against Post, and so the ball back to Hartford. Yeah, at one point in the third quarter, Tim Keefe scored the first goal of the third quarter. It made it 5-1 Post, but then back-to-back goals from Griffin Weller and Justin Petzalese made it 5-3 Hartford. Post, pardon me, but it seemed like Hartford right back into it. They have a stalwart defense. They were keeping Post limited. They only held Post to 1 goal in the first quarter, and with it 5-3, you thought, hey, both of these goalies seeing the ball well. This is going to be a tight, low-scoring game the rest of the way. A 4-goal explosion for Post has it at 9-4, and now University of Hartford, they have talented players on the field. It just seems like their system that they brought to play with today hasn't gotten the ball close enough to the net. We've seen Ojert score on a couple of beautiful solo effort, single-handed dodge plays. The Griffin Weller goal was set up very nicely by Hunt, but aside from that, it's been the ball very far away from the net and really inconsequential dodges, not really leading to anything. Forgione, he's been kept quiet this afternoon. Petzolese has it, and how about 2 unassisted goals in a row for the Hartford Hawks? You look up at the scoreboard, this game isn't done yet, and Ojert and Petzolese, 14 and 29 respectively, each with 2 goals. Hold the phone. 2 in a row for the Hawks. This game, remember, could have been 10-3. Instead, it's 9-5. And I can hear it right here. I have a headset on, but you can hear to the side of me from that University of Hartford sideline. That's an elated group, and clear as day, the words "It's not over" ringing from the Hawks sideline. Obviously, the Eagles standing very close to them. They can hear that too. Still have to think with 8:20 left to go in this fourth quarter. One more goal here would feel like this game would be out of reach, but James with the face-off win, thriving in. There's Cole George inserting himself back into the contest. James, a goal-scoring threat from the center circle. Not all face-off men do that. Some face-off and get off. He took that win, took it right on into the net, had a good look on Cole George, but George, another big stop, his 15th now. Save percentage at 75 tonight. He's allowed 5 goals, but he has made 15 saves. Tim Keefe. He completed a hat trick back in the second quarter of this contest, scored all 3 of Post University's goals in quarter number 2. Just like Hayden Heineman, Keefe with 3 goals and an assist today. And now DeNike. Out to Keller. Hawks don't really want to see the ball leave the pocket here. This would be a bad time to surrender a turnover. And so a deliberate build-up to this attack. Heineman behind the net. DeNike thought about the no-look shot, spins back to the right-handed shot, pulls it wide. It's a race to the ball, diving towards it, and winning the race to the ball, Eddie Sadowski. The freshman just had one last step in him and dove, and the length of the long pole gets him to the sideline first and gives it back to the Hawks. So plenty of momentum still on the Hartford sideline here as a cross with the clear, Maxton McPhee. Both teams used 1 timeout in the third quarter. They each have 1 timeout remaining. But right now, Hartford, they don't need to slow their roll at all. Only 5 goals in this contest, but twice they've scored goals within a minute of each other. 2 from Ojert, 2 from Petzolese, 1 from Griffin Weller, just his second of the season. Now Maxton McPhee. He was on the field quite a bit in the first half. Didn't see as much burn in quarter number 3, but he's back. Helping create here for the Hawks. Ethan Hunt, an assist today, trying for another one there on the crossfield pass. Once again, the race to the ball, and this time it's won by Post University. And the long pole of Mike Keene. Big 1-0. Hard to miss out there anyway, a taller player, but with that long pole, you have to think if the name of the game is reaching towards the sideline, he won the race. This one is loose here. Carfagna had it for a second, and he will ultimately pick it up. I thought he had an eagle there to help him out on the clear, and he does, but it's behind him. And so this one launched the length of the field in the direction of McGrain. Well, I think the pass was intended for DeNike, but McGrain is there to pick it up. He sends it back to Keefe. That was risky business on the clear attempt for Post University, but they get the job done, and it feels much more comfortable holding this 4-goal lead when you know you have another 50 seconds to run off the shot clock. So Leighton Cook joining the attack with Tim Keefe, Robbie McGrain, Noah Piette, Ryan DeNike. and Dylan Heald. Heald was the intended recipient of the pass there. Look at that backside stick check on the play by Tim Keefe. He knocks it out of the pocket of the Hawks, and we will go back the other way. Just 2 seconds after getting the clear, Heald had to bail because he was on the wrong side of the restraining line. And so, Keefe, though, joining the defensive midfield, gets the stick check, forces the turnover. And all of that to say, the play looked good, but it ultimately was offside. So, Heald did the right thing peeling off of the midfield line. Keefe went over, already 6 on that side of the field, and so don't count the turnover. It's an offsides call against Tim Keefe. And the wind picking up again here at Lemoy Field. Time running out, though, on these Hartford Hawks. 4.5 minutes on a running clock. Trailing 9-5. Ezra tried to sling the pass over towards Hunt. It gets deflected, but Petzolese is there to pick it back up. Now Petzolese takes the pass. He'll backtrack all the way back to the 35-yard line on the football gridiron. Working around Longmore, shoots it, misses wide. Still 30 to shoot on the clock for Hartford. Winding it in quickly, that looks to be Aiden Kemp. Kemp, just flustered by Nate Dowd, has to go all the way back out to Ezra. And around the perimeter we go with Jake Oger. Oger, nifty pass. Fake shot in from Kemp. Oger, low shot. George can't get the stick to it, but it is pulled wide from Ogert. Well, let's see. The shot clock reset on that play. I don't think Cole George got a stick to it, and that gives Hartford 60 more seconds, but ball don't lie. It's a turnover on the play back in. Post forces it, and so no worries on the shot clock there. 3:44 on a running clock, and now with a clear, the math looking good for the Post University Eagles. Jack Longmore helping out. The clear converted rather easily. Well, actually, hold that thought. Luckily, falling back on the play was Anthony Esposito. That allows Heidman to jump on the play and grab the ball and take it back to the X. And let's see, if he works quickly, he might have had a one-on-one race to the net. Instead, he's picked up on the play by Sadowski. We've seen these two with a couple of big man-on-man battles today. But you can see right now the way the Eagles are operating the offense, holding this 4-goal lead with 3 minutes left to go now, making all those wise decisions, keeping it wide around the perimeter. We've seen Brendan Keller look very good dodging from far outside. This is his first game of the season with the Eagles. Has Keefe behind him. Keefe fakes the pass back. Keefe dodging in. Passes it behind the net. Wise decision there for the Eagles. And DeNike in no hurry. And now DeNike with his toes on the back of the crease. So many options for the Eagles here. DeNike all the time in the world. Shot clock down to 9. Rips the impossible angle shot. And that angle was so tight he put it behind the net. There still are 7 seconds left to shoot. You can hear the sideline for Post University telling Tim Keefe to take it himself. He has 5 to shoot. Let's see. Jab step with a spin. Has some room. Left-handed shot. Its save is made. Heald didn't have it. DeNike almost had it. That's a push from the backside. And I believe it's going to go against the University of Hartford. No, my apologies. I thought it was Black that committed the push. Instead, they call it against Post, and we'll go back the other way. Coach Iannarelli not too thrilled with that call. Can't say I blame him. His team's still up 4, and a turnover here. Yes, it goes over the end line, right to 2 waiting Eagles. It's Cam Beckett and Joseph Seminator hyping up the team there after the turnover is committed. We have a timeout on the field, and it's really much all ceremonial at this point. 2:12 remaining, and one more chance for each of these teams to draw up one more possession. We will take our final break here from Lemoy Field, and when we come back, the conclusion. Right now, 2:12 remaining, Eagles 9, Hawks 5. The finale of this contest after this break on the Nest Network. Welcome back to Lemoyne Field. 2 minutes and 12 seconds remaining here in this contest. Post University, as the goal was not covered on that play by Hartford. Almost a free goal for Tim Keefe. As it is, though, it allows the Eagles the chance to just wind into this offense with a fresh 80 on the shot clock and bleed off all 80 seconds if they can stay smart with the ball. Maybe they'll have an open net to shoot at, too. That would have been the case there for Heald. He's pickpocketed on the play. And so sending the extra man with the goalie up and away from the net, Liebold, it worked on that play for Hartford to create a turnover, and Ojert working very quickly here. Hartford, they're playing like they still have a chance to come back into this contest. With the ball, Aiden Ezra, the true freshman, tried to duck inside around James Sproul, couldn't do it. Brown fronting Petzalese. Petzalese trying to get himself a hat trick today. He has 2 and 4 on the season. So does Ojert with 2. He misses that shot wide. Back behind the net, Forgione. And Forgione all the way out to Petzalese. Justin Petzalese. Over to Ezra. Aiden Ezra misses that shot wide. Once again, Forgione there closest to it, and that's really the only application I've been able to call Nicholas Forgione's name in today. Normally, such a threatening goal scorer, leading the team with 9 on the season, has just kind of been the X-Man behind the net. Another big save in front from Cole George, and an easy clear for Carl Fagna. And that's a big way to end what could be the final offensive possession of the contest for Post. And Jalen Brown taking on all comers, and he gets the clear himself. Unreal. Still asking for the penalty. He gets yard sailed on the play. His stick is caught by his teammate on the sideline. Believe that was Cam Beckett that caught that stick with one hand. It is a push. No, pardon me, that will be a cross-check against Hartford. And so that is a technical penalty, it looks like, against Beckett. And let's see here. So, pardon me, Forgione, the guilty party, Nicholas Forgione, a 1-minute penalty for the cross-check. And so Post University will get to end this game with a man up. 9-5 the score. Remember, folks, at one point this was a 10-3 game, and that 10th goal, which would have been scored by Dylan Heald, was ultimately reversed, overturned by the officiating crew. Still a 9-5 lead for the Eagles. And in this battle of the birds, it's going to be Post coming out on top and getting above 500 on the season, moving to 4-3. With the loss, the University of Hartford will drop to 2-2. And this result looms large because, remember, both of these teams kind of in their spring break right now. And when you get back from spring break, you go right into conference play. And so this is a huge game against a former D1 team to really put some wind behind your sails and move forward confidently into CACC play. Well, let me see. Let me see if there's anything to call here in the final 13 seconds. Hindman winding it down. It's appropriate that Keefe and Hindman will pass the ball to each other. 3 goals and an assist for Hayden Hindman. 3 goals and an assist for Tim Keefe. There are 2 players of the game today, and they help the Post University Eagles move to 4-3 on the season. Today's final score, Post University 9, University of Hartford 5. One more time, with the win, it is now 4-3 for Post, and with the loss, 2-2 for U Hartford. We'll take one quick run through the scoring summary here. For Hartford, 2 goals for Jake Ojert, 2 goals for Justin Petzalese, and 1 goal for Griffin Weller. Only one of those goals assisted, and it was Ethan Hunt getting the assist for the Hawks. For Post University, big games for both Tim Keefe and Hayden Hindman. 4 goals for Keefe. 3 and an assist for Keefe, 3 and an assist for Hindman, 2 for Piet, 1 for Heald, and a day to remember here at Lemoyne Field. Eagles victorious 9-5. Don't go far. We'll be back with our players of the game after this on the Nest Network. Yeah.
Test, test, test.
Hand mic check, hand mic check. Test, test. And a mic check here. Joined live by the men of the hour, Hayden Heineman, Tim Keefe here, a combined 6 goals and 2 assists for you two in today's 9-5 win. A lot to cover here, but let's talk about that Hartford attack that you guys, or that defense that you were playing against here. It's a strong defense. They play a slow style. It's hard to score on them. You guys got the win with 9 goals. Was it a difficult defense to break through for you today?
Yeah, pretty gritty defense. I mean, they pressed out well, limited our opportunities, but we were able to beat them with speed, which is something we've done all year, and just could roll into the weekend doing the same thing.
Simple as good D, better O. Boys are buzzing.
Speaking of that, good D leads to better O. 2 games, that's 120 minutes of lacrosse, and you've allowed 5 goals in them. That's crazy. I feel that doesn't happen at NCAA levels, but you guys have done it. And so let me give you the mic here. Put it into words. How are you doing it?
We got number 41 in that. That guy is an absolute man. The boys were just buzzing back there.
Cool, George. Knowing him my entire life, that guy blows my mind every single day.
Also very handsome.
That's a fact.
That's a ringing endorsement for Cole George. Now let's swing it over to somebody else I'm sure you guys probably have a lot of compliments for. Coach Y, his first season here with you guys, above 500 now, 4-3. You lost some players on the roster. It's a different look. Just talk to me a little bit about Coach Y, what he does for you guys, and how he has you running as you are right now.
Well, we faced a lot of adversity through the fall and through the spring. But, we just have a bunch of guys who are willing to get through that and be positive, and Coach has been an absolute great leader. And he's just been helping us. Now we're 4-3. The boys are having a great time out there.
Yeah, Coach Pat came in a few weeks into the September there. Just really has tailored his style of coaching to our needs. Been really impactful in inspiring us each and every game in the huddle. Getting the boys amped, making sure we're doing all the right things to prepare during a week of practice, being gritty, all the things that lead to success. And he's been somebody we've really looked up to and looked towards to give us inspiration and just a guiding guy.
I got one more for you guys. Want to let you go and enjoy this with your teammates here. Almost more or less out of non-conference play. CACC play coming up. Those are the guys you know. Those are who you're familiar with. How does the focus change now that it's going into conference play where, the money gets made, so to speak?
It's time to win games. That's simple as that. Like we went 4-3. We had whatever. We still have Malloy out of conference. But after that, it's just about winning games, getting to those playoffs, getting the championship, start rolling. That's about it.
Yeah, when the butterflies come out, the boys come to play. So I think it's going to be important that we continue to make focus in practice and a few days before a game. Hydrating, boys sprinting before practice, after practice, getting our reps in that we need to get to be successful in those conference games, and then really going deeper and deeper into our season, staying healthy. Big shout out to our athletic training staff, Alexis. Rob's been a huge support of us, so I think just moving forward, keeping the bodies healthy, making sure that all the boys are rolling at full speed is really going to be a help.
I also just want to shout out all the D guys down there. 5 goals let up with Cole George, absolute menaces. Short stick D-Miz getting better every game. Thank you.
Listen, the vibes are high here at Lemoy Field. You can't blame them. One more non-conference game against Malloy College, but 8 points today combined for Tim Keefe, Hayden Heineman. Guys, congratulations. Thanks for joining us today. Go enjoy your time with your teammates. Victorious. Thanks so much. And that'll do it for us today. 9-5 the final score, post 4-3 with the win. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's coverage on the Nest Network. You've watched Post University Sports on the CACC Sports Network. Thank you so much.